What we're hearing is they're being stopped in traffic stops or on the street with no cause and being forced to demand paperwork to determine if they are here legally.
Doesn't that sound like what y'all used to do with us? What they call that? Stop and frisk. They did that in our communities. They pulled us over. You got to show ID. You make sure you don't got anything illegal on you.
Might have to drop a dime on them niggas.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta stop it.
I don't like that shit.
For sure, bro.
I don't like that shit.
All right, y'all. We back with another video, man. Y'all know how we do. Always pushing health, wealth, and a better understanding of self. So in this video, we got the police officers are complaining about ICE stopping them, and they are referencing Civil Rights Act. Listen, you can't make this up. It's crazy that everybody's still out talking points and use it for them. The things that our ancestors created is just being used and passed around through all type of organizations and nationalities. But without further ado, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, push me on the algorithm. I greatly appreciate that. I'm gonna hear what this police officer say, and I want to get y'all opinion. Let's get it.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mark Rulli, Police Chief of the City of Brooklyn Park. Behind me is a bunch of amazing police chiefs that are here in support of a very short but very important message that we want to share with you. What you won't hear from any of us today is rhetoric of abolish ICE or that there shouldn't be immigration enforcement. The truth is, immigration enforcement is necessary for our national security and for local security. But how it's done is extremely important. In fact, we have a long history of working exceptionally well with our federal partners, including ICE agents. And we have seen the best of them perform their job extremely well in the past. With that said, recently, as the last 2 weeks, we as law enforcement community have been receiving endless complaints about civil rights violations in our streets from US citizens. What we're hearing is they're being stopped in traffic stops or on the street with no cause and being forced to demand paperwork to determine if they are here legally.
Doesn't that sound like what y'all used to do with us? What they call that? Stop and frisk. They did that in our communities. They pulled us over. You got to show ID. You make sure you don't got anything illegal on you. It's crazy that now when we seeing all of this, nobody's talking about it. But I remember this, and everybody's gonna act like they don't remember. But it's kind of disrespectful to us to see what's going on.
As this went on over the past 2 weeks, we started hearing from our police officers the same complaints as they fell victim to this while off duty. Every one of these individuals is a person of color who has had this happen to them. In Brooklyn Park, one particular officer that shared her story.
You see, now they want to say about a person of color. Everyone is a person of color who this happened to.
With me, was stopped as she passed ICE going down the roadway. When they boxed her in, they demanded her paperwork, of which she's a US citizen and clearly would not have any paperwork. When she became concerned about the rhetoric and the way she was being treated, she pulled out her phone. In an attempt to record the incident, the phone was knocked out of her hands, prevented her from recording it. The officer had their guns drawn during this interaction. And after the officer became so concerned, they were forced to identify themselves as a Brooklyn Park police officer in hopes of slowing the incident and de-escalating the incident down. The agents then immediately left after hearing this, making no other comments, no other apologies, just got in their vehicles and left. I wish I could tell you that this was an isolated incident. In fact, many of the chiefs standing behind me have similar incidents with their off-duty officers. This isn't just important because it happened to off-duty police officers, but what it did do is we know that our officers know what the Constitution is, they know what right and wrong is, and they know when people are being targeted, and that's what they were. If it is happening to our officers, it pains me to think of how many of our community members are falling victim to this every day. It has to stop. This behavior erodes the trust that these police chiefs have worked tirelessly for the last 5 years and theoretically the last 60 years to stop
60 years, all of the police brutality and all of the racial profiling that's been happening in the country. Now they standing up for ICE. This is kind of wild.
this
Right?
exact behavior from happening. Now, I want to be really clear. I've called lots of other ICE agents and HSI agents and have talked to a lot of individuals about this. This is not widespread. This is a small group of agents within the surge in the metro area that are performing or acting this way. As a matter of fact, as rumors of this had spread, I've received phone calls from ICE agents and HSI agents indicating this is not how they act. This is not what they do. Regardless, we're calling to action that we have more supervision over the surge, that this type of civil rights violations have to stop. With that,
This type of civil rights violation. This is what's crazy, man. All of the civil rights that was violated with us, that they doing this with illegals. So I want to know what y'all think about this in the comment section, man. Do you feel like it's okay for a police officer to be talking about the civil rights? But I want to know what y'all think in the comment section. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace and love.
To have a community, you must have three things to have a community in it. You must have a wholly independent economic structure that can provide goods, service, products, and things for your own people, and jobs and tax bases for your own people. You should at least control 4 basic things. You should be trying to control water, food, medicine, and energy to be able to survive and compete.
Here we got Mr. Pollock. He had a cornfield. He took advantage of a free water test from us, and this is what we found in this water. We found sulfur, we found hardness, and we solved these problems with an easy fix of 2 tanks. So get your free water test today. Stay blessed. Click the link below.